Hello, orienteering friends. Welcome to the next orienteering race recording. This time it's the same location as my last race or my previous race, but it's a short track and it's located on the west side of the map. So it's something a little bit different today. And let's go. So, as you can see, some of the runners started sharp. Not me. I usually take my time to pick the proper map. It took me a while to orient my map properly. I thought that I will be running to the left, but fortunately, I was quick enough to, understand the directions and started heading to my control properly. Here, it took me a second to, figure out the contours on the map, and then I understood that I'm basically running on this small ridge, let's say. Here I'm just trying to avoid the standing trees there, and to get some understanding where am I. So on my left there is this fenced area. I probably missed it completely, but I noticed that there is this non-runnable forest on my left, and then of course on my right I started to see this clearing, and then not long I noticed this stone there. So not the best execution. You can see from my track that it was kind of curvy. Now to control 2 I basically decided to go straight up, and I thought that I will use these vegetation boundaries to get through it, and then just use the direction and continue in the direction of that vegetation boundary which I'm at right now. But I don't know what happened with me at this point. I think I should have just continued, but here I stopped and I thought maybe it will be better if I run a little bit further and then run through that white forest, runnable forest. But then here I assumed let's go straight. So I don't know what to say else. As you can see, it's not really pleasant to run. It's a little bit dense, but still kind of runnable. But you have to avoid all these branches. And fortunately, I could see through the forest, and I could see this small clearing where was my control. So this was, let's say, kind of a good execution. Not the best for the running. I could have gone more to the left and run through the open forest, right? And then go to the, or what did I say? The open forest is on my left, let's say. So I could have gone that way. Here to control number 3, well, I hope I took my bearing. I don't remember it now. Here is the green patch, green non-runnable forest, and I don't know why, but I kept running uphill in this direction. I don't know what was I thinking here. Like here I see a glimpse of going into the right direction, but why I'm going still uphill? I don't get it. Why I'm not following any bearing or So here, this is probably the biggest mistake in here. Maybe I believe that I made some mistake in understanding the map, and now I thought that I'm on that road which is far more to my left. You know, you can see it on the map, and it's going in that shallow valley. But here I got back to this narrow right, thinking that I'm on that road and that I will just run up and somehow around the hill. But I'm completely lost, I guess. You know, here I'm just walking and trying to, you know, figure out where am I. Now, what saved me was this fenced area. When I noticed it here, I finally found myself on the map. Thinking probably what a stupid ass I am. At least I started running to the direction of the control number 3. I'm not sure why I didn't go more to the left, like straight to control 3. Maybe I decided, you know, to go around that hill. I guess that was my thinking. But here again, I crossed that narrow right. I didn't notice it. Here I got lost a little bit, or quite a bit. But then I took a bearing, and at least I started following this narrow right, you know. So that got me back on track, let's say. But as far as I remember, I still was confused. Here I thought that I'm on that narrow right that is on my left. And I was expecting some kind of a road that I will get to. So yeah, I was, you know, kind of in a panic mode and not really thinking straight. Here again, this road totally confused me. I didn't expect it here. And I think I just decided to continue. Maybe I figured that here I'm finally at the edge of the hill and I started going kind of around. But, you know, probably I wasn't really, you know, properly focused. Now it's getting, you know, better, I guess. I found this path. This path was okay. Of course, I didn't know exactly where am I, and it was at this point it was kind of difficult for me to, you know, orient myself properly. I was confused by this undergrowth, let's say, and I thought I will go around it, and I ran too far, I think. Here I finally started going down to find the control, but as you can see, I'm a little bit too far. Here, again, I'm trying to find myself, and at least I decided to go into the right direction, you know, to the right. I guess I at least had some kind of sense in my head that told me that I ran too far and found the control, but I lost like 2 minutes here. You know, the best ones did it at least 2 minutes faster. So here I didn't felt quite good, but somehow I managed to pull myself together and started running towards this hatched area that was in the direction on control 4. So that was easy, that was clear. I was there shortly, and then when I passed over it, I looked downhill in the direction on control of the control 4, and I basically saw the two big trees there. Yeah, somewhere here I'm looking at it, and I saw them, and that's where I started to head to them or go to them. Yeah, here I think, yeah, here I saw them completely, so that was clear. And so now it's just a matter of getting through this non-runnable forest. And because I see them in front of me, it was not really difficult. It's just that the foliage is, you know, prohibiting me to go faster, let's say. Now the control 5, I did some kind of stupid, weird mistake, because I decided to go now to my right, and I thought, okay, I will run along this vegetation boundary somehow through this non-runnable forest, and it should be fine. I should hit it. But then when I got here, I saw the vegetation boundary here, but I was somehow confused, and I said, oh, let's get back. I don't understand this. So I lost like 30 seconds here again, you know. I'm running, I'm getting through because there is this vegetation boundary, so it was kind of runnable, doable, now like a fast walk, let's say. But you know, going there and back, I should have gone this direction straight from the control 4, and I would save like 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, I guess. Now it was easy. I just followed this like narrow ride and vegetation boundary. Of course it was difficult. I wasn't really running at this point because it was steep uphill, and you know, I can try only so much. Actually, when I'm looking at it now, I was running almost up to this point. Now I'm walking, but yeah, here I probably saw the control a little bit, so I was going directly to the control. Not the best execution, but still good, I guess. Now control 6, basically I climbed this ridge that there was no other option, and then I took a bearing from the top and just went straight to the control. But as you will see, my execution wasn't perfect, and I will tell you why. I guess at this point I was like, my confidence was kind of lowered or by the previous mistakes. Also, all these narrow rides kind of distracted me, and here I noticed that there is this another ridge, so still going good direction. It's not the mistake, but here I noticed these runners, and I also noticed some other runner that was going my direction, and I started following him. I think he should appear on my left. Yeah, here he is. So I basically started running the way this guy goes, and that was the mistake. You know, I I lost some confidence probably. And then here I got confused by all these kind of, there were these green patches, and I thought that that green patch was the one which is below. And I started heading a good direction, you know, to my control 6, but as you can see, I was too much to the left. And here was this kind of stone. What am I doing? Checking the number of the control? Yeah, I could see the control number from here, but to me it looked like a small stone. But on the map it was this kind of triangle, which probably is like more stones, like, so probably that's something I didn't really understood. To me it looked small, but as you can see, this is like a group of stones, or I don't know, to me it's... And that's something that confused me, so I thought, where am I? Maybe I'm totally lost. And instead of following that guy who just, you know, assumed correctly that, yeah, this is the stone on my left, I should just continue a little bit further and down, I got back here, back to the road, and I started looking for that green patch, you know, here. So here I'm looking around, guessing. Probably at this point I finally like understood that I'm at the junction and that this is the narrow right that I should have gone at the first place. Still struggling, you can see. It's funny and it's frustrating to watch yourself struggle like that, but now I guess at this point I told myself, okay, you are at the narrow right, so go. And yeah, there it was. I lost a minute and a half at this control. You know, if I would have followed that guy all along, I would get to this control like a minute faster. And I would have like half a minute loss only. So, pretty frustrated at this point, but still somehow, as far as I remember, I kind of kept my act together, and you know, I took a bearing, started climbing, and like I decided that I will go around the hill from the right side. That was it. And you know, like I couldn't avoid the control. I couldn't avoid the hill. You know, you would have to climb it either side. I just decided to go straight up and just a little bit to the right. And yeah, it worked fine for me. Of course, the climb was difficult. I would be probably able to run at some point. But here, as you can see, I started running and I got to these ditches. That was cool. I was able to, you know, identify them on the map. Here, just, you know, a little bit taking kind of a look in the map and readjusting myself. Here it was clear that I need to get to that fenced area and then around it. For a brief time I was thinking that I will go more to the right and take it from the right side, but then obviously that didn't make sense to go from the right side, so I decided to go around this kind of edge of this of this fence, and then straight into the this kind of newly grown non-renewable forest, whatever. Here I'm just taking a bearing, I guess, trying to just take a good direction and get through the forest. As you can see, it's not perfect, but I'm getting through. Of course, here I lost the direction, but I again kind of readjusted myself, and here this was, this is some kind of how to say it. This is the young forest that I don't really enjoy because I'm a tall guy, and this is really how to say that, like this is like for me I have to crawl almost. But I hit the center of it, and it was clear that inside this non-renewable forest is even smaller non-renewable forest vegetation boundary, and there was my control. Here I'm just taking a bearing, but I don't know why it's taking me so long. Okay, so this is definitely not a run. I'm trying to, walk as fast as I can and get through it. Here one of the branches took my camera off, so I'm just had to carry it. Now I put it back on and good to go, just readjusting myself. Yeah, I saw this vegetation boundary, and that's where I started to go because it seemed the easiest way how to get through. And then around this point I already saw the control, so that was easy. It took me longer than I would want, to be honest. It wasn't as smooth, but I guess the execution was all right. Now to control 9, I just thought, let's go straight, let's just take a bearing, get through all this vegetation as straight as possible, and then when you get to the road you will decide what's next. I think I did it quite well. Here I was just thinking that well, let's go further, let's find the swamp and go around it from the right side, and I think that was very easy to navigate and very easy to execute, and I found this a very good decision because here actually the swamp, it wasn't that swampy, and it was kind of runnable, it's not like a super fast running. You are trying to avoid the patches that are more watery, but it was sort of muddy, but not that like a water in it. And when I got to this vegetation boundary, this was a fairly runnable forest, and then there I saw, to me it looked like some kind of other object, and when I got closer it was actually my control that looked like that other object. So now this number 10, to me it was like, okay, so what do I do? Again I was like, oh, I have to go through this non-runnable forest. So I just looked at it, found like a spot that I found this spot, and it looked I could pass through it. So I went there, and I just tried to get through this, and it was pretty narrow, you know, so I got through it just in a couple seconds. And then from here I was thinking, let's go straight, let's go around that you know, greenish forest, you know, thicker, younger forest. And then of course you can see there is this small clearing. So for me those were the navigation points or anchoring points. So although I went a little bit more to the right, at least this part was, you know, like walkable, runnable. Well, the slope was steep. I wasn't able to run into that steep climb, so I'm just walking. But then of course at this point I clearly could see the young forest in front of me, and I was just, you know, going that way, you know, climbing up. What can I say? This is like half of the race, and I already ran some distance, so it was not like possible for me to run, but and it was really steep. Like normally, like younger fellas, the elite runners will probably run into it, but not me. I'm way past this kind of fitness. But I found the control easily. That way the forest was not that dense, and the control was visible. And here when I got out of the forest, I took a bearing. As you can see, I'm very slow in, you know, setting up course or setting up my direction. But whatever, at least I catch a breath, and then I'm able to run. So here, this kind of, you know, this in the map, this looks like a narrow ride, but to me it's just an open forest. I wouldn't put it there. I was more focused on this hill where I expected the ditch, so I slightly deviated to the left, but I thought, well, it's okay. You will climb up and then you will see where exactly is the ditch. So yeah, here it was, you know, few steps to my right. So although it wasn't, I didn't hit the control exactly in the direction that, like, straight. At least I found kind of pleasant way to the control. Again, to number 12, I just took a bearing, and, you know, I ran straight according to the direction I took, and I was aiming for some vegetation boundary between, you know, runnable, non-runnable forest. So that's where I'm headed. I also noticed this stone on my left, so I thought, okay, I'm right on my I'm on the right direction. Here probably I wanted just to go downhill, you know. I wanted to ease my running, let's say. So I deviated a little bit too much to the left, but then of course I corrected myself and ran along this vegetation boundary, which I think you agree that it is the shortest way. Some runners probably went along the road or path to the left and then around that fenced area, but I think the way I'm doing it, is more, you know, straight and shorter. So, and here I'm still able to run, you know, it's open forest, runnable. And then when I was closing in here, I saw this fenced area, so that was some kind of oh no, it's not a fenced area, it's a feeder. That feeder was exactly on the line, so that was a little bit distracting. But here I saw the fenced area, and then I saw like the control in front of me, like in the far, you know, or at least I saw that runner in front of me, and because he was heading the same direction, I just followed him, and of course the control was there. So what can I say? Easy. Here I went straight, and I started to map while I was running, and basically when I looked at the map, I was like, let's go along the, you know, this kind of ridge, slightly in that direction I was already running. And fortunately there were not so many branches, so I was able to not kill myself while running and looking into the map. Of course, I noticed here this greenish non-runnable forest, and then I started looking for the contours here, and that's why I'm slowing down. And here I decided to go more to my right, around this, you know, second, around this, not into this valley where the road is, but along this kind of bump or a ridge, and along this narrow ride. To be honest, I wasn't really focusing on the narrow ride itself. That came as a bonus. I was more focused on hitting, you know, this kind of valley between these two smaller ridges, and that was like giving me direction straight to control 13. So I thought, yes, that's what I want. Here I think that the vegetation kind of threw me off a little bit from my direction, but for the most part I kept it quite well. Here this was a tricky area because of all the foliage and ditches, and you know, it looked kind of suspicious. But then I realized that the control is actually inside this non-runnable forest, and it should be some kind of, you know, how do you say that, curve in that stream. But once I entered the forest, I saw the control. That the control was very close to the vegetation boundary, and it was visible, very well visible. So that kind of helped me a lot. And then again, first of all, I took the bearing, and I thought, okay, let's go according to the bearing as much as I can through this non-runnable forest, and then we will see. So here I am, just trying to get through the forest after I took the bearing. Let's see where I will end up, because as you can see, I'm not really going super close to the line between 13 and 14. But here, as you can see, there is this curve of the path that I'm on right now. So I noticed that and just took a bearing again, and from that point I went straight to control 13, to control 14. I will speed it up a little bit now, because I'm climbing up, It's a long climb, and it's a slow climb. I wasn't able to run, so just use the arrows to speed it up a little bit. Here, for example, I was looking around and I checked and I saw that stone and some kind of vegetation afar. And I also was, getting to this kind of ridge that is, or kind of bend of the hill. So I saw that I'm getting there. Then I got to this narrow ride and I was thinking that, yes, I'm not going, I will use this narrow ride to guide me a little bit around this hill edge. And then I saw the control here in front of me. I was expecting the control more to the right, to be honest. I was surprised that it's so close to this narrow ride. As you can see, I'm punching it in the circle, but it's very close to the narrow ride. I was really expecting it more to the right. Now here, I guess I was exhausted from the climb because I'm still walking and it's taking me a time to, readjust myself. Why I'm not running now? Yeah, this thing bothers me sometimes. But okay, I got it, and I'm running finally. Good. Sorry. Now, here I was a little bit confused by the clearings and by the openness of the forest. That wasn't really, in the map. But here in front of me, I already saw the non-readable forest. So that was clear. And I saw also these stones all around. So I knew that I'm on the right track. It was a bit tricky to get to the control because you are right on the edge of the vegetation boundary and you want to run, in a runnable environment, in a runnable forest. But here I noticed that I have to go down and that cliff is below me. So I went in, of course. And then here I wanted to go straight, but it wasn't that easy. So I kind of deviated quite a bit because I went along all these paths. And to be honest, I didn't really, I didn't really enjoy all these branches along. So I was trying to avoid them, trying to, get around them. And that's basically why I ended up here. And that's, you can say it's kind of a mistake, but at least here it was more pleasant for me to go down. And I knew that I'm at this edge of this non-runnable forest, so I readjusted myself a little bit and went straight to control 16. Of course, I was a bit, unsure. Here it became, funny because you have this water stream here. The next one, then it started to get hilly, bumpy, and so I was looking for some clues to get, a sense where exactly am I. And then I noticed some people with a control there, so I went there. Apparently my confidence was not perfect. Here I went back because from afar I saw the number and it was not my control, so I thought, yeah, you stupido, you should have just go straight from the beginning. So here I lost like 10-15 seconds, but then I got to this control, which was mine, and I was helping these guys, you know, so another like 10-15 seconds just to tell them where they are. So I told them your control is more, they had the control in the opposite direction, no, yeah, that I'm going right now. So for them it was more further. Now I'm not sure why I didn't went up from the control to the White Forest and why I'm going through this non-runnable, how to call it, whatever. At least I get around and now I'm in a runnable forest, so finally I can run a little bit. Why I'm struggling, why I'm not running, I don't remember. Maybe it was due to the fact that this was a late stage of the race and I was already a little bit exhausted. But it was easy to find the control, you know. I just followed basically the stream, let's say, and kind of I followed this hill, this ridge of the hill, so that was kind of a lead for me. Now basically I'm trying to get to the last control. So the only thing that I was cautious about is not to follow the stream and not to avoid going uphill. I was really struggling with my physique at this point, and I was, even though I'm trying to run, my body wasn't really wanting to run, you know, uphill. So here again I got to this and I was looking for the fenced area to see it, if I can get, you know, some leading point. But I kind of readjusted myself and then ran into the proper direction. Here is the road, so that was clear. Then I saw this narrow ride and I started running along this narrow ride. Not sure exactly why. I guess I was just following this boy. But when I got to that second road, I started readjusting myself because at that point I knew that I'm not really going, that I need to go more to the left, not the direction the guy was running. Maybe he had some control there, but to me, I knew that I have to go more to the left and straight to the finish. So here I'm on the last control, passing a fellow from the same club I'm running for and going to the finish. So after the race, to be honest, I was kind of disappointed by myself because I did those two errors and I wasn't really happy about it. It was troubling me for the rest of the day and also the next day. And to be fair, I ended up on a third position, so at the end my performance was not that bad. But the first mistake, actually, the mistake from control 2 to number 3, that really ruined my mood. But it happens sometimes, you know. Other than that, the race was okay. I think well prepared, and yes, I will stop talking now. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed those mistakes, and feel free to subscribe and like the video. I will be glad if you do. And if you like to drop some comments, we can discuss it and have fun together. Cheers. Enjoy orienteering. Bye.